Hello everyone, welcome back to Molly's Cozy Kitchen. Today we are going to be making cinnamon swirl bread. This is a family recipe, so it seems only fitting that I have my grandma here to help me make this bread. Let's get started. We need half a cup of granulated sugar and 1 stick of butter in a bowl. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and then let's scald some milk to pour over it. So to scald milk, we have 1.5 cups of milk and you're just going to heat that over medium-high heat and it still starts to form a skin and just start to foam, like this. We don't need to get too foamy or bubbly or boily. Kill the heat and pour it over the butter, sugar, and salt. Let the butter melt and let the mixture get to room temperature. While that happens, let's make our yeast. We're going to add half a cup of warm water to 4.5 teaspoons of yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then let it rest until it's nice and foamy like this, about 5 minutes. Add it to the milk mixture once it's cool, and also add 2 beaten eggs. Then we're just going to give it a nice stir. Careful not to beat too many bubbles out. We want to keep that nice foamy texture. Just get it all combined, and then let's add our flour. Depending on your dough, you may need as much as 10 cups of flour or as little as 7. So we're going to start by adding 4 cups of all-purpose flour, then just mixing that until it's mostly combined. And then what I did is I just added 1 cup of flour, stirring in between until it started to form this shaggy dough that you can see here. Then turn the dough out onto a very well-floured work surface and begin kneading. Now, because there's a lot of dough, this is going to take quite some time, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. That's why it's so nice that I had my grandma here, not only to help me knead the dough, but also to talk to me and keep me company. Here she was explaining to me awesome kneading technique. What you want to do is fold the dough over itself and push down, then turn it and push down again. Alright, now with our dough, we're going to put it in a well-oiled bowl now that it's smooth and elastic. And then we're just going to cover that with a clean kitchen towel and let it rest for 1 hour to 1.5 hours until it's doubled in size. Alright, now we're going to punch it down. This is so satisfying. Get some of your aggression out there. And set it aside while we make our cinnamon sugar. So we're going to add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar to a jar or bowl, as well as 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Then we're also going to melt half a stick of salted butter. Alright, turn the dough out onto a well-floured surface, again. Divide it in half. You don't have to be equal here, just, kind of eye it. You don't need to weigh it or anything. And then we're going to roll each portion out into a rectangle. My grandma did a much better job than me. No surprises here. She's expert. But we're just going to want it to be a rectangle or a square. You don't want it to be much wider than the length of the pan. And you want it to be a little bit longer than a foot. You're also going to spray 2 large baking pans with nonstick cooking spray. And then once you have your prepared rectangle, you're going to brush it out with the melted butter. And then very generously sprinkle with some cinnamon sugar. I say very generously because there's nothing sadder in the world than an under-sugary sugar bread. I don't know if that makes sense, but you want it to taste really, really good, like cinnamon and sugar and all the best things in the world. Alright, once you have everything covered in cinnamon sugar, you're just going to roll it up nice and tight, tucking in the edges so it's not too loose. And then just gently pinch the ends shut so it doesn't spill. Put it in your baking pans. Make it fit to size. And then cover them both with a clean kitchen towel and let them rise another hour or until very nice and puffy. Bake the loaves in a 425-degree oven for 10 minutes, then lower the heat to 350 and bake another 35 to 40 minutes. Remove from the oven and allow to cool completely before slicing. If we cut too soon, then they might collapse. Alright, time to give this bread a taste. As always, it tasted amazing. It reminds me of childhood. My grandma has been making this bread for me and my brother since we were very young, and we liked it so much that we started nicknaming it grandma bread. So to me, that's what this bread is. It's not cinnamon swirl bread, it's grandma bread. And this was the first time since the pandemic that I had been able to be with my grandparents and cook with my grandma. And that was such a special thing to be able to do, and I loved it so much. So everyone, really, get a friend or a family member, someone you love, and make something with them. You don't have to be good at cooking. You don't have to think that you're good at cooking to make something amazing and have fun together. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. You can check out mollyscozykitchen.com for the full written recipes. I will see you all next time. Thanks for stopping by.